Before we start the movie, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our new content. The movie begins with a seductive married woman who lures a naive young man into her dangerous game for the sake of love and money. But everything changes when her husband finds out the truth. At the beginning of the film, we are introduced to Diana, an attractive and confident woman who works as an English teacher at a college. But her true passion lies in biology. The opening scene shows her relaxing on her boat, enjoying the sun. Later, she heads to the college to give her lecture. During the lecture, Diana's eyes linger on Jay, a handsome student sitting in the audience. There's something about him that catches her attention. After the class ends, she calls him over and asks, "Would you do something for me?" Eager and curious, Jay agrees without knowing the details. In the next scene, Jay is on Diana's boat, absorbed in his painting as part of the job. Diana walks out in her swimsuit, her presence impossible to ignore. She locks eyes with him, walks over, offers him a drink, and invites him inside the boat in a soft and seductive voice. She asks, "Do you love me, Jay?" Jay tries to play it cool and replies, "I'm working now, no distraction." But despite his words, he can't resist her charm and finally admits she's the one he's been thinking about, even during English class. Moments later, the boat begins to rock, not from the waves, but from their growing intimacy. Later, Diana drives Jay to the gas station where he works part-time. On the way, she asks him for another favor. Enchanted by her, Jay agrees, willing to do anything she asks. The story then shifts to Michael, Diana's husband, who is also a professor at the same college. But Michael isn't just a professor, he comes from a wealthy family. His mother and grandmother own a massive business empire and real estate worth millions. However, they're unwilling to give him any control, paving the way for a cunning plan. Michael and Diana decide to involve Jay in their scheme. The next day, the couple meets with him and explains their plan. He needs to intimidate Michael's mother, Lillian, and grandmother, Lee, to convince them to move into a retirement home. Once they're out of the picture, Michael will inherit everything. We then meet Lillian, Michael's grandmother, and a strict matriarch. At the same time, Jay sneaks into the family estate and heads straight to the basement. But the plan hits a snag when the family dog spots him and starts barking furiously. Lillian hears the noise and, without hesitation, grabs her shotgun. Jay panics and tries to escape, but Lillian is quick and fires several shots at him. Jay barely escapes, shaken but alive. As he flees, another masked figure enters the house and shoots Lillian without warning. The terrified dog hides in a box. Jay returns to Diana and Michael and recounts how Lillian chased him like a real sniper, but Michael doesn't believe him. He tries calling his mother's house, but no one answers. Worried, the trio, Jay, Diana, and Michael, head to Lillian's home, only to be met with a horrifying scene. Suspicion immediately falls on poor Jay, who insists on calling the police to prove his innocence, but Michael quickly interrupts, saying, "There's no need to involve the police." The next day, Michael returns to teaching, but Jay's mind is elsewhere. Jay walks out in the middle of the lecture and heads straight to Diana, confronting her. "We only needed to prove that Lee was incompetent. Why were they sacrificed?" Diana remains calm and confident, assuring him it wasn't his fault, and tries to distract him with her charm, once again stirring his emotion. But outside the room, Michael hears everything. His expression darkens as he quietly walks away. Once Michael leaves, Cynthia appears at the door and hears Jay's voice inside. When he comes out, Cynthia reveals something shocking. She has photos of Diana and Jay on the boat and tries to blackmail him. But Jay replies, "I'm not afraid of you. Do whatever you want," and storms off, leaving Cynthia furious and determined to go straight to Michael. There, she also runs into George the gardener, and the tense atmosphere makes her uncomfortable. Without saying a word, she leaves. At the same time, George curiously asks Michael about Lillian and Lee. Michael lies with ease, saying they're on a trip. Jay returns to Diana's boat seeking answers. There, he finds shoes, a gun, and other evidence that implicates him. Before he can process it all, Diana appears, and Jay confronts her, saying he's going to expose everything. But Diana, with her usual charm, tries to calm him down and warns, "Michael is very smart and powerful, don't mess with him." Reluctantly, Jay agrees to stay silent. In the next scene, tension builds between Michael and Diana, and he accuses her of betrayal. "I saw you flirting with that boy behind my back. You even played with him on the boat." His jealousy worsens, especially since Diana hadn't been intimate with him all summer. Diana defends herself and reminds him that Jay has the evidence. If he provokes him, they'll all be in trouble. Frustrated, Michael decides to take matters into his own hands and confronts Jay, asking, "How do you plan to prove anything? You're the one who went to the estate that day, your fingerprints might still be there." Michael's words scare Jay, who decides to return to the estate to erase any evidence linking him to the crime. But things take a dark turn. While Jay is searching the estate, a mysterious man sets a trap for him. Jay barely escapes with his life and flees back to Diana. She warns him harshly to stay away from the estate and reveals a shocking detail: George the gardener is actually Lillian's cousin. Meanwhile, Cynthia returns to the estate looking for Michael and Diana. But instead of Michael, she encounters the masked man dressed as Santa Claus. His gift to her is her death. Michael and Diana arrive at the estate shortly after, and tensions flare between them. Michael accuses Diana of orchestrating everything. Deeply insulted, Diana leaves in tears and heads straight to Jay's apartment. She tells Jay that she plans to divorce Michael and says excitedly, "We can be together and start a new life with the money I get from the divorce." As emotions rise, the two get close, but when the doorbell rings, it's Michael at the door. Jay nervously tells him Diana is there, and Michael leaves. But as he walks away, he spots Diana's car parked nearby and returns to Jay's apartment, only to find it empty. Unbeknownst to him, Jay and Diana have already left. The two head to the boat, ready to spend the night together. But without their knowledge, Michael has followed them and watches from the shadows. Suddenly, the masked man appears from behind and kills Michael with a deadly blow. Jay and Diana hear Michael's scream, interrupting their intimate moment. Jay rushes out, determined to catch the attacker, but the masked man proves too quick. Jay chases him all the way to Lillian's estate. There, Jay uncovers the horrifying truth: the masked man is Martin, Lillian's illegitimate son, and George is the rightful heir to the estate. But Martin turns on George and kills him too. Jay and Diana, who have followed Martin to the estate, piece all the evidence together and realize Martin was behind everything. As the illegitimate heir, he was supposed to inherit the estate legally, but his dark path led to chaos. Determined to stop him, Jay and Diana search the house for clues but get trapped in a room by Martin. Under pressure, Martin's overconfidence becomes his downfall. In the final confrontation, Jay defeats and kills him. Afterward, Diana visits Jay to thank him. "Thank you, Jay. Now all the money is mine, and it turns out you're incredibly loyal." She invites him to go with her to Hawaii to start a new life together. Jay, now free of all burdens, gladly agrees. His boss tries to threaten him: "If you leave, you're fired." But Jay confidently replies, "Keep your job. I'm done here." He jumps into his car, leaves his old life behind, and drives off into the sunset with a smile. And that's the end of the story. If you enjoyed the film, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything new we post.